The thumbnail for today's earlier video said reunited, but now this video, the thumbnail says uninvited. We're going to get into who's uninvited where in just 1 second, but we got to talk about Atlanta Housewives and some interesting things that are going on with Bravo, a follow-up from the earlier story that we talked about today. All right, so let's head on over to the Jasmine brand real quick, okay? Now, the tea is hot, y'all. And this is not really new. And let me just give you guys the caveat here. When we're talking casting, until it's all final, it's still reporting, right? These are what the outlets are reporting. Each outlet is, they have their sources. What we do on this channel is we give our commentary about what we're seeing in the news, okay? Just to give you guys that caveat, because I already know and can foresee some of y'all just complain. But for me, I love these types of casting announcements because it's exciting to talk about the possibilities and how things might shape out. Now, the exclusive here from the Jasmine brand reads, the Real Housewives of Atlanta producers are searching for new cast. No more than 3 current peach holders are expected to return. But things will get interesting when we get into our next story. All right, so listen. Basically, what they're saying is that producers have heard the complaints and they're ready to shake things up. Now, we've gotten reports about this before. Insiders have shared that with the Jasmine brand that they're currently casting for season 16. No word just yet on who producers have their eyes on, but they are allegedly serious about taking the time needed to select the right women to revamp the series, as they don't plan to start filming until the spring of 2024. Now, this is going to be very interesting because what that will mean is that Sunday nights when Potomac and Married to Medicine go off, where we typically have a show that is, catered to, they're typically Sunday nights is when we got our people of color on the show. I mean, on the network. It is what it is. Like, that's just how it's always been. So we're gonna have some free Sunday nights for quite some time, it looks like. And that's gonna be interesting too, because it'll be on the same cycle of filming as possibly Potomac and Married to Medicine. So it's going to be an interesting time come fall when it's time for these shows to come back on in 2024, because there's going to be a huge gap in the spring of 2024 through the summer of 2024. So I'm interested to see how all that pans out. But to be honest with you, I suppose if it means that they're going to get the casting right, then fine. But who knows what'll happen? Let's continue. It says Bravo fans have already started to speculate that major changes are brewing in Atlanta. So we talked about the fact that Drew Sidora and Sanya had removed Real Housewives of Atlanta from their social media bios. But then Drew, okay, recently said on the X platform that she never actually had Real Housewives of Atlanta listed in her Instagram. She said, never had Real Housewives of Atlanta in my bio, but thanks for the love. Start basting your turkey. Now, I think that Sanya Richards-Ross, after everybody had talked about this online, I think she put it back in her bio. Let me just do a little quick search real quick just to see what I can see on my phone. Sanya, the Richards, Rossi. She has added it back to her Instagram, as you guys can see if you look at it as of the time of 3:52 p.m. on Tuesday, November 21st. Okay. Meanwhile, Candy, Kenya, Sheree, and Marlo all have Real Housewives of Atlanta mentioned on their accounts, but the insiders close to Bravo are letting the Jasmine brand know that there's a high chance that no more than 3 current peach holders will be offered a return contract, which means there might be more housewives adjusting their media pages soon. In August, they said, we exclusively reported that due to allegedly not having a big enough budget, fans shouldn't expect Bravo to add well-known Atlanta-based celebrities, and that the word on the curb is that they're looking for high-profile socialites and not the celebrities. Let me just say this, okay? Part of the problem now is all of these celebrities that they keep trying to just attach to the show that, haven't been properly vetted. You can't just add a name and think that it's just going to make sense. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people feel like Sanya has the lifestyle that, a housewife should bring. But in my opinion, she doesn't have the personality that a housewife that we're looking for this particular type of show. That doesn't mean that she has a bad personality. It simply means that we as housewives fans, and so many people think, well, everybody ain't got to be ratchet. No, it ain't about that. But it is about a spark, okay? It is about having what they call camera balls. It is about fitting in with the current group and the current establishment in a way that makes sense, that feels organic, that doesn't feel forced, okay? It's those types of things. And it's not about somebody being ratchet and screaming and yelling and fighting and all that kind of stuff like that. It's just about having a personality that pops against the backdrop of Atlanta and within the the fabric of the current cast. Okay, you know, Candy, who was actually is actually featured on, I think, is it Variety's most powerful women in reality TV list. I think that was it, if I am correct. Let me look. Let me make sure. And so, with those types of accolades, um, it's kind of hard to lose that level of talent when we're talking about, um, when we're talking about Atlanta Housewives, or at least reality TV in general. She's on that list. She's literally on the list. Okay. You guys can see it right here. All right. When I get back from running my errands, I'll put the link in the description so that you guys can read the article. But so it'll be hard to figure out like what to do, like how to pivot around like someone like Candy. So my assumption, if you're only going to keep those three, is probably going to be Candy, Sheree, and Kenya. I mean, they make the most sense, maybe have Marlo back as a friend. I really don't know. Like, I don't know. I think for me, the thing is, we talked about this ad nauseum in the last video that we did about this topic. So I don't know really where else to go with it, but the 2024 filming in spring of 2024, that's a long time. That's a really, really long time. And that's shocking to me. Now, interestingly enough, when you also look at what we talked about earlier about NeNe Leakes scrubbing her Instagram of any of the Bethany stuff, when you take into account the fact that she follows Bravo amid this speculation of her return, okay? As you guys can see here, could this potentially mean that this could be a lead-in to her potentially coming back? I know a lot of people feel like she burnt that bridge, and I definitely feel like she set it aflame, okay? But if they want to bring the eyes back and they want to bring that luster back to Atlanta, that's the move you make, or at least one of the moves you make. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. Call it what you want. Call it wishful thinking, and maybe it is on my part. But it seems like this information it's sort of ringing the bells of hope amongst the Bravo community right now. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I actually started to just post this in the community tab, but I was like, no, we got to talk about it real quick. Would it be a smart move to bring her back? Absolutely. Would it blow the budget for half of the housewives that they have on there now? Absolutely. Because she is going to want the coin, as she's going to require the coin. But I think if you had a base of it, at the article from the Jasmine brand is, if we're going to go by that, then yeah, only 3 would be returning from this past season. And if you brought in a NeNe, absolutely, you don't have the budget to pay for nobody else, especially with the ratings not being what they once were, right? So you're gonna have to find two other people, okay, that are okay with not being paid that much per on per, okay. The last thing we got to talk about is really it's short and sweet, but it's about the uninvited. Guess who the uninvited is? It's Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon. Because when they arrive, spoiler alert, tune out if you don't want to be spoiled. When they arrive down to Sweet Tea and Dr. G's wedding, they learn that the Kimes family is not on the list and that they, Dr. Heavenly specifically, it looks like is not going to be, at least initially, or at least they're going to be turned away initially. Okay. So I am interested to see how that turns out. My general thought is that somehow they will end up at the wedding still, but at least from this preview right here, and I'll put the link in the description of this video, they're not going to be there from what I can see. Okay. So let me know what you guys think. Now, based on the way things have been going between Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly, are you I don't know. No, I don't know. Sweet Tea might be a little bit mad about a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see how this play out. Baby, let me tell you something. Married to Medicine, they ain't got to worry about the casting thing because they got that thing down pat. Okay, the budget is budgeting for the cast that they got, and I am excited about it. Okay, Married to Medicine needs to be the new headlining show for Bravo on Sunday nights, on period. Okay. And that's just what I got to say about it. I mean, I love Potomac and everything, but Married to Medicine is truly where it's at. So anyway, I think to me, the new Supreme is no longer Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't think it's Potomac at this point in time. It's Married to Medicine. That's the show right there. So anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below, and I will catch you